Admiral Kate Morrison looked out the big window of Luna Station. She watched the last workships finish their job on the biggest project humans had ever made. For 50 years, Earth had been quiet to the galaxy, no messages to other worlds. Trade deals, no ships going past their own solar system. The Galactic Federation thought humans were simple people who wanted to stay home and never explore space. They were very wrong, hidden in the asteroid belts, on the dark sides of planets, and in secret shipyards all over the Sol system, humans had been building. Commander Jake Sullivan checked the final weapons on the UHS Vengeance. This ship was one of 900,000 ships that now filled the space between Earth and Pluto like stars made of metal. Dr. Lisa Grant ran the Human Defense Program. She looked at the final numbers on her screen. Each ship could destroy a whole planet. Each ship had shields that could survive a star exploding. Each ship had engines that could bend space itself. Humans had learned from every mistake they made. In their first war with the Zalari Empire 51 years ago, they had built the answer to every problem. The Zalari had thought humans were weak back then. They smashed Earth's small defense ships and told humans to give up. They gave Earth one choice: become slaves or die. Earth said they would think about it. They asked for 50 years to get ready to join. The galaxy as servants, the galaxy thought humans were getting ready to surrender. Humans were getting ready for war. Jake Sullivan walked through the halls of his ship. The UHS Vengeance was 2 miles long and packed with weapons that could crack moons in half. Every bolt, every wire, every computer chip had been made by human hands during the long 50 years of silence. While aliens across the galaxy forgot about the small blue planet, humans worked day and night. Children who were born after the First War grew up knowing only one thing: Earth would never bow down again. Schools taught engineering and weapons design. Factories worked without stopping. Mining ships stripped asteroids bare to feed the great shipyards. Kate Morrison remembered the day the Zalari ships came to Earth. She was just a young pilot then, flying one of humanity's first space fighters. She watched her friends die as alien weapons tore through their weak shields. She saw Earth cities burn from space. She heard the alien commander laugh as he demanded humanity's surrender. That laugh had cost the Zalari Empire everything. Lisa Grant checked her watch. In 6 hours, the signal would go out. 900,000 human captains would open their sealed orders. The galaxy would learn what humans had built in their 50 years of silence. The Zalari thought they had broken humanity's spirit. Instead, they had forged it into something harder than diamond. Every human ship carried the same message in its computer banks: the names of every person who died in the First War, the images of every burned city, the recording of that alien commander's laugh. Humans never forgot. Humans never forgave. Jake Sullivan sat in his captain's chair and ran his fingers over the control panel. His grandfather had died fighting the Zalari. His father had spent his whole life building these ships. Now Jake would use them to deliver humanity's answer. The shipyards around Jupiter were empty now. The great factories on Mars had gone silent. Every resource, every worker, every brilliant mind had focused on one goal for 50 years. Make the aliens pay. Kate Morrison opened a communication channel to all 900,000 ships. Her voice would reach every human captain scattered across the dark between worlds. Captains of humanity, she began. 51 years ago, aliens came to our world. They killed our people. They burned our cities. They told us to bow down or die. Today we give them our answer. The alien races had spread across the galaxy for thousands of years. They had conquered hundreds of worlds. They had wiped out species that would not submit. They thought they knew everything about war and conquest. They had never met humans, who had 50 years to plan their revenge. Lisa Grant watched the power readings spike across all human ships. Engines that could move faster than light came online. Weapons that could shatter planets charged to full power. Shields that could stop anything came up to maximum strength. The silence was over. Humanity was going to war. In the deep space between stars, alien sensor stations picked up strange readings. Energy signatures that made no sense. Gravitational waves that seemed impossible. The computer systems tried to figure out what they were seeing. By the time they understood, it was too late. Jake Sullivan felt his ship begin to move. Around him, 900,000 other ships began their journey. They moved as one, like a school of deadly fish swimming through the black ocean of space. The Zalari Empire had 15,000 warships. The Galactic Federation had 50,000 total. Pirates and raiders had maybe 5,000 between them all. Humanity had 900,000 ships, and every single one was bigger and stronger than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Kate Morrison smiled as Earth fell behind them. Somewhere out there, aliens were living their normal lives, trading goods, making plans, fighting small wars over worthless planets. None of them knew that death was coming for them at the speed of light. The human fleet spread out across multiple star systems, moving in perfect formation. Each group had orders. Each captain knew their target. The plan had been 50 years in the making, and every detail had been checked 1,000 times. Lisa Grant stayed behind on Luna Station to coordinate the attack. She watched the ships disappear into hyperspace, carrying humanity's rage to every corner of the galaxy. The aliens had wanted an answer to their demand for surrender. They were about to get one. Captain Ryan Mitchell opened the sealed orders on his ship, the Retribution. He commanded one of the big ships in the Third Fleet. All around the galaxy, 9,000 other human commanders were reading the same message. The words were simple and clear. Humanity's answer to the aliens was about to be delivered. The message had waited 50 years to be opened. Every human captain had carried these orders since the day they took command. Now the time had come to read them. Lieutenant Amy Parker worked at Deep Space Monitoring Station, Epsilon 7. Her job was to watch for strange things in space. Her screen suddenly filled with warnings. Massive gravity waves rippled through space as 900,000 human ships turned on their engines at the same time. The energy was so huge that sensors 3 star systems away could feel it. Amy had never seen readings like this. The computer kept saying the numbers were wrong, but the sensors did not lie. Something enormous was moving through space, and it was heading toward alien worlds. The Zalari patrol ship Kethmara was the first to see the human fleet coming. Captain Zexthal was doing his normal border patrol when his sensors picked up what looked like a moving field of rocks. The computer took several minutes to figure out what it was really seeing. When the analysis finished, Zexthal could not believe the results. 900,000 warships moving together in perfect order. Each ship was bigger and had more weapons than the strongest Zalari battlecruiser. The fleet stretched across space like a metal wall of death. Zexthal tried to send a warning message back to Zalari Command. His communication beam lasted exactly 4 seconds before human jamming systems cut it off. Suddenly, every radio signal in 50 light-years went dead. The galaxy's information network went dark as human technology showed how much better it was than alien systems. The humans had not just been building ships for 50 years. They had been learning how to fight better than anyone else in the galaxy. Ryan Mitchell stood on the bridge of his ship and watched space bend around them. Human engines did not just push ships forward. They grabbed space itself and twisted it, making distance shorter. What should have taken months to travel now took hours. Behind them, the rest of the human fleet followed in perfect formation. No alien fleet had ever moved this smoothly. No alien technology had ever been this precise. 50 years of preparation showed in every detail. Amy Parker tried to call her supervisor, but all the communication systems were dead. The human jamming was so complete that even emergency channels did not work. She was cut off along with the knowledge that something terrible was about to happen. She looked at her screens again. The massive fleet was splitting up now, going to different star systems. Each group had enough firepower to destroy everything in their path. The aliens had no idea what was coming for them. Zexthal watched his ship's systems fail one by one. First communications, then navigation, then even basic sensors. The human ships had weapons that could shut down alien technology without firing a shot. His proud warship was now blind and helpless. Through his failing view screen, he saw the human fleet pass by his tiny patrol ship. They ignored him completely. He was not worth their time. They had bigger targets in mind. The human ships moved like living things through space. Their formation changed smoothly as they traveled, adapting to each new system they entered. Alien military experts had spent thousands of years learning space tactics. Humans had improved on all of it in just 50 years, Ryan Mitchell received updates from the other fleet commanders. Every group was on schedule, every target was within range. The alien worlds had no idea that death was racing toward them faster than light. The plan was perfect. 50 years of preparation had thought of everything. Human spies had mapped every alien military base. Human computers had calculated the best attack routes. Human engineers had built weapons that could crack planets like eggs. Amy Parker managed to get one emergency transmitter working. She sent out a desperate warning on an old military frequency, hoping someone would hear it. The message was simple: massive human fleet detected, all alien forces in danger. Repeat, massive human fleet approaching all sectors. The message traveled through space, but most receivers were already jammed. Only a few alien outposts got the warning, and they thought it was a mistake. Humans only had a few dozen old ships, everyone knew that. The idea of 900,000 human warships was impossible. By the time they realized the message was real, human ships were already dropping out of hyperspace above their worlds. Zexthal's patrol ship drifted powerless in space. He watched the last human ships disappear towards Zalari territory. In a few hours, his homeworld would face an attack unlike anything in galactic history. He tried to restart his engines, but nothing worked. The human jamming had fried every circuit on his ship. He was trapped, helpless to warn anyone about what was coming. Ryan Mitchell checked his weapon systems one more time. Every gun was loaded. Every missile was armed. Every energy cannon was charged to full power. His ship alone could destroy a dozen alien planets, and he was just one captain in an army of 900,000. The aliens had asked for humanity's surrender. 51 years ago, they had laughed when humans asked for time to think about it. They thought humans were weak and scared. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Amy Parker sat alone in her monitoring station, watching her dead screens. The silence was terrible. For the first time in galactic history, the communication network was completely dark. No messages, no warnings, no calls for help. The galaxy had gone quiet, and in that silence, something terrible was about to be born. Human ships reached the edges of alien space. Their sensors mapped every defense, every weapon, every ship that might try to fight back. The aliens had built their military over thousands of years, but humans had spent 50 years learning how to destroy it all. The waiting was over. The silence was about to end, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Galactic Federation Council was meeting in emergency session when the human fleet arrived at Kepler Station. This was the Federation's biggest military base, the heart of alien military power. Suddenly, every screen in Federation space showed the same thing. Admiral Kate Morrison's face looking back at them. Her voice was calm and cold as she spoke to every alien leader in the galaxy. 51 years ago, you came to our world with demands. You told us to give up or die. We said we needed time to think about your offer. That time is over. General Paul Henderson commanded the attack on Kepler Station from his ship, the Devastation. The station had shields that were supposed to stop attacks from 100 Federation warships. Those shields fell apart in minutes under fire from just 3 human ships. The Federation's strongest military base became proof of how much better human weapons were on the planet Zalara Prime. Minister Kexival watched in horror as human ships covered the stars. The same race that could barely build a few dozen weak warships 50 years ago now had a fleet bigger than every military force in known space put together. The Zellari Defense Fleet, pride of their empire, was swept away like dust in a storm. The Zellari had 800 warships defending their homeworld. They were fast, well-armed, and crewed by experienced fighters. Against any other enemy, they would have been a serious threat. Against the humans, they lasted 11 minutes. Dr. Simon Torres was now head of Human Strategic Operations. He coordinated attacks on 17 Federation worlds at the same time. Each target got the same treatment: orbital bombing of military bases, complete communication shutdown, and one simple message sent on all frequencies: surrender now or face the results of your aggression. The message was broadcast in every alien language. There was no confusion about what humans wanted. Submit or be destroyed. Paul Henderson watched alien ships explode on his viewscreen. Each human weapon hit exactly where it was aimed. Each shot destroyed what it was meant to destroy. 50 years of preparation showed in every detail of the attack. The aliens fought bravely, but bravery meant nothing against superior technology. Their weapons could not get through human shields. Their ships could not run from human engines. Their tactics had been developed to fight other aliens, not humans who had studied every weakness. Kexaville tried to call other Zilari worlds for help, but all communications were jammed. The humans had cut off every planet from every other planet. Each world faced the attack alone, without help, without hope. He watched his planet's orbital defense platforms explode one by one. Each platform had enough firepower to destroy a moon. The human ships destroyed them like toys. Simon Torres sat in his command center on Luna Station, watching reports come in from all over the galaxy. Every human attack was going according to plan. Every alien defense was falling exactly as predicted. 50 years of intelligence, gathering, and planning was paying off. The humans had not just built better weapons. They had studied alien psychology, alien tactics, alien weaknesses. They knew exactly how aliens would react to attack, and they had planned for every possible response. On Kepler Station, the alien commanders tried to coordinate a defense. Their computers had been calculating battle plans for thousands of years, but human cyber warfare systems had infected their networks months ago. Every alien plan was known to human commanders before the aliens could carry it out. The Federation's greatest military minds found themselves fighting an enemy that knew their every move before they made it. Paul Henderson received a surrender offer from the Kepler Station commander. The alien wanted to negotiate terms, to find a way to end the fighting without more death. Henderson's reply was simple: unconditional surrender only. You have 60 seconds to decide. The alien commander asked for more time to consider. Henderson cut the communication and resumed the attack. When aliens showed mercy to humans 51 years ago, the answer had been different. Kexaville watched the last of his world's defense ships die in fire and explosion. The human fleet had not even slowed down. They destroyed everything in their path with calm efficiency, like farmers harvesting crops. He tried to understand how this had happened. How had humans built such a massive fleet in secret? How had they developed technology so far beyond anything aliens possessed? The answer was simple. While aliens had spent their time fighting small wars and political games, humans had focused on one thing: revenge. Simon Torres looked at the casualty reports. Human losses: 0 ships destroyed, minor damage to 12 vessels. Alien losses: over 4,000 ships destroyed, countless military bases eliminated, entire defense networks wiped out. The numbers told the story. This was not a war. This was extermination. The alien survivors tried to flee to neighboring systems, but human ships were waiting for them there too. Every escape route had been predicted and blocked. Every hiding place had been found and marked for destruction. Paul Henderson watched the last alien weapons on Kepler Station go silent. The great military base that had commanded respect throughout the galaxy was now a burning wreck floating in space. His communication officer reported that 17 other Federation worlds had stopped fighting. Some had surrendered. Others had simply gone quiet as their last defenses failed. The Galactic Federation had ruled space for over 3,000 years. Their military had conquered hundreds of worlds and defeated countless enemies. In one day, humans had destroyed all of it. Kexaville sat in his office as human troops landed on his planet. Through his window, he could see human ships in the sky, blocking out the sun. The same sun that had shone on Zilari civilization for 10,000 years, now shone on human conquerors. He had one last communication device that the humans had not found yet. He used it to send a final message to any aliens who might still be listening. We thought humans were weak. We thought they were afraid. We were wrong. The galaxy belongs to them now. Then he destroyed the device and waited for human soldiers to come for him. Simon Torres received confirmation that all primary targets had been secured. The alien military forces that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia were gone. The bases that had launched 1,000 invasions were rubble. Humanity's answer to the alien ultimatum had been delivered in full. The galaxy was quiet now. Not the quiet of peace, but the quiet of total defeat. Every alien world waited to learn what humans would do with their victory. They would not have to wait long. The Federation's answer came from Fleet Admiral Nexcaros on the massive ship Eternal Dominion. This was the biggest warship ever built by alien civilization, 3 miles long and armed with weapons that could destroy stars. He led a combined fleet of over 10,000 ships from dozens of different alien races, moving to stop the human fleet at the Rigel system. He was sure that more ships would win the battle. He was completely wrong. Colonel Beth Adams watched from the UHS Apocalypse as the alien fleet approached. The aliens still thought about space war the old way. Big ships shooting big guns at long distance, with victory going to whoever had the most armor and biggest weapons. Humans had learned to fight in ways the aliens could not imagine. The alien fleet was impressive to look at. Ships from the proud Zalari Empire flew next to vessels from the ancient Korthax Federation. The warrior race called the Drex brought their famous battle cruisers. The technical masters known as the Veil contributed their most advanced designs. Altogether, they represented the combined military might of galactic civilization. The greatest fleet ever assembled was coming to destroy the upstart. Humans once and for all. The battle lasted 8 minutes. Captain Danny Wilson commanded a group of human ships that specialized in hunting enemy vessels. His job was to find alien ships and destroy them before they could fight back. He watched his screens as the alien fleet spread out in traditional battle formation. The aliens were doing exactly what human computers had predicted they would do. Every move, every tactic, every strategy had been war-gamed by human analysts for 50 years. There were no surprises. The human ships moved like a school of fish, flowing around the alien formation in patterns that made no sense to alien commanders. They appeared where sensors said they could not be. They attacked from angles that should have been impossible. They struck with weapons that turned enemy ships into clouds of hot gas. Beth Adams smiled as she watched alien commanders try to adapt to human tactics. They kept trying to use old strategies against an enemy that had evolved beyond their understanding. It was like watching children try to fight adults. The human ships did not just have better weapons and shields. They had better everything. Better computers that could think faster than any alien brain. Better sensors that could see through any alien trick. Better engines that could move in ways that broke the laws of physics as aliens understood them. Danny Wilson's hunting group destroyed 300 alien ships without taking a single hit. The human vessels absorbed enemy fire with their shields, converted the energy into power for their own weapons, and fired it back twice as strong, every shot. The aliens landed only made the humans more dangerous. Admiral Nexcaros watched his fleet die around him. Ships that had served for centuries, vessels that had won 1,000 battles, crews that had never known defeat. All of them turned to scrap metal by human weapons. He tried to call for reinforcements, but human jamming made communication impossible. He tried to retreat, but human ships were faster. He tried to surrender, but humans were not accepting surrender from fleet commanders. The Eternal Dominion was built to be unsinkable. Its armor was made from materials that could survive inside a star. Its shields could stop anything the galaxy could throw at it. Its weapons could crack planets like nuts. Human weapons cut through it like paper. Beth Adams watched the great alien flagship break apart on her screen. The ship that had been the symbol of galactic military power for over a century became a spreading field of debris in seconds. With their flagship gone and their admiral dead, the alien fleet did something that had never happened in galactic military history. They ran away. Ships that had fought together for hours suddenly scattered in all directions. Captains who had sworn to die before retreating turned their vessels around and fled at maximum speed. The greatest fleet ever assembled by alien civilization broke apart like a glass hitting the floor. Danny Wilson let them go. His orders were clear: destroy military assets, but allow survivors to spread the word about human power. Fear was a weapon too. The human fleet had used less than 1% of their total force to destroy the aliens completely. 900,000 ships were still out there, still hunting, still destroying everything that opposed them. Colonel Adams received reports from other battle groups. Human forces were winning everywhere. Alien military bases fell like dominoes. Defense fleets died without inflicting serious damage. The galactic military structure that had taken thousands of years to build was collapsing in days. The aliens had made one critical mistake 51 years ago. They had shown humans what they were capable of when they attacked Earth. They had demonstrated their weapons, their tactics, their technology. Then they had given humans 50 years to build something better. The survivors of the Rigel battle limped back to their home worlds with stories that no one wanted to believe. Human ships that moved like ghosts. Human weapons that could not be stopped. Human tactics that made no sense, but the burning wrecks floating in space told the truth. The age of alien domination was over. Danny Wilson's ships moved on to their next target. There were still alien military forces scattered across the galaxy, still weapons pointed at human worlds, still threats that needed to be eliminated. The hunting would continue until every threat was gone. Beth Adams looked at the tactical display showing human forces across the galaxy. Green dots marked successful operations. Red dots showed remaining targets. The red dots were disappearing one by one as human ships completed their missions. Soon there would be only green dots on the map. The alien races had ruled space through fear and superior firepower. They had conquered hundreds of worlds by being stronger than anyone who opposed them. Now they faced an enemy that was stronger than all of them combined. Admiral Nexcaros had died believing that numbers would win the battle. 10,000 ships against a few hundred humans seemed like good odds to him. He had not understood that humans did not think about war the way aliens did. Humans did not count ships or measure firepower. Humans planned for total victory through total superiority. The wreckage of his fleet drifted through space, a monument to alien arrogance and human preparation. Danny Wilson received new orders on his communication system. Phase 1 was complete. All major alien military forces had been destroyed or scattered. Phase 2 was about to begin. The real work was just getting started. The galaxy had learned to fear human military might. Now it would learn to accept human rule. Beth Adams looked out at the stars and thought about her grandfather, who had died defending Earth 51 years ago. He would have been proud to see this day. The aliens who had killed him were finally paying the price. The battle was over. The war was won, but the occupation was just beginning. 3 months after 900,000 human warships launched, Admiral Kate Morrison stood in the ruins of the Galactic Federation Council chambers. The once proud meeting hall where alien leaders had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years was now a human military command center. Alien art and symbols had been replaced with efficient human technology. President Helen Brooks spoke to the surviving alien leaders through quantum communication systems that could not be jammed or intercepted. Her message was simple and clear. The species that had demanded humanity's surrender would now serve under human authority. Their worlds would be run by human governors. Their fleets would be destroyed. Their populations would be moved wherever humans needed them to go. The tables had turned completely. The masters had become the servants. Commander Steve Parker oversaw the systematic destruction of Federation military bases across 47 different worlds. The same alien races that had built their power on conquest and domination now learned what it felt like to be conquered by a superior force. Humans had studied alien mistakes for 50 years. They had learned from alien weaknesses. They had turned alien tactics against the aliens themselves with devastating results. Dr. Lisa Grant established the new rules from her office in what used to be the Federation capital. Every species in known space would follow human law. They would trade according to human regulations. They would exist only as long as humans allowed them to exist. The galaxy had taught humanity that strength was the only thing that mattered between different civilizations. Humans had learned that lesson very well. Steve Parker walked through the ruins of a Zellery command center on the planet Korath. 51 years ago, this base had launched the attack on Earth. The weapons that had killed millions of humans had been built in these factories. The ships that had burned human cities had been repaired in these docks. Now it was all twisted metal and broken concrete. Human engineering crews were already planning what to build in its place. The alien workers who had once proudly served their empire now cleared debris under human supervision. They worked in silence, knowing that their lives depended on human mercy. The same mercy they had refused to show Earth decades ago. President Brooks reviewed the reports from human administrators across the galaxy. The occupation was proceeding smoothly. Most alien populations had accepted the new reality quickly. Those who resisted were removed from their positions and replaced with more cooperative individuals. Fear was an excellent teacher. Dr. Grant implemented the citizenship protocols that had been planned for 50 years. Aliens who demonstrated loyalty to human authority could earn limited privileges. Those who caused trouble would be relocated to labor camps on remote worlds. The system was fair by human standards. It was more mercy than aliens had shown to their own conquered peoples over the millennia. Lisa Grant remembered the day alien ships had appeared over Earth. She had been a young scientist then, working on peaceful space exploration projects. She had believed that contact with alien civilizations would lead to friendship and cooperation. The orbital bombardment of Chicago had taught her otherwise. Now she designed the systems that would prevent any alien race from threatening humanity ever again. Every alien world would have human oversight. Every alien fleet would be limited to small patrol craft. Every alien leader would answer to human authority. Steve Parker received a communication from one of the Zellery ministers who had survived the conquest. The alien wanted to negotiate better conditions for his people. He spoke of ancient Zellery culture and the rights of conquered populations. Parker's reply was short. You established the rules when you attacked Earth. We are simply following your example. The conversation ended there. Human ships patrolled every major trade route in the galaxy. Human stations monitored every communication channel. Human agents watched every alien leader for signs of rebellion. The occupation was not cruel by human standards, but it was absolute. There would be no second chance for alien aggression. President Brooks met with a delegation of alien ambassadors who had come to ask for reduced tribute payments from their worlds. They spoke of economic hardship and the need to maintain basic services for their populations. Brooks listened patiently, then reminded them of the terms humanity had been offered 51 years ago: complete surrender or total destruction. She pointed out that their worlds were still intact, and their people were still alive. The tribute payments would continue as scheduled. Dr. Grant established the historical archives in the former Federation Library. Every record of alien conquest and domination was carefully preserved. Every act of cruelty against defeated enemies was documented. Every broken treaty and betrayed ally was catalogued. When alien children asked why humans ruled their worlds, they could read the answer in their own species' history. The galaxy learned to function under human oversight. Trade continued, but humans controlled the major shipping lanes. Research continued, but humans monitored all projects for military applications. Art and culture continued, but with human approval for all public displays. It was not the galaxy aliens had known, but it was stable and peaceful. Human rule brought order to civilizations that had spent centuries fighting each other. Steve Parker stood on the observation deck of a human orbital station above the former Federation capital. Below him, alien cities functioned normally under human administration. Above him, human ships maintained their eternal watch. The last entry in the Federation's historical database had been written by automated systems before humans replaced them with their own records. The entry was simple. We demanded their submission. They gave us our own? 900,000 human warships continued their patrol routes across the galaxy. They were a permanent reminder that humanity's patience had limits, but their memory was perfect. President Brooks addressed the human population on the anniversary of the Great Launch. She spoke of the 50 years of preparation, the perfect execution of the plan, and the new era of human dominance that would last forever. She ended her speech with words that had become the motto of human civilization. Never again will humanity bow to any alien power. Never again will Earth face destruction. Never again will humans be anyone's slaves. The galaxy had fallen silent in terror when 900,000 human ships launched. In that silence, a new age had begun. Alien children grew up learning human language alongside their own. They studied human history in their schools. They worked in human factories and served in human businesses. They accepted this as normal because they had never known anything else. Dr. Grant looked at her final report on the transition to human rule. The statistics were impressive. 0 human casualties in the occupation, 97% compliance with human directives, complete elimination of interspecies warfare. Humanity had succeeded beyond every prediction. The galaxy was quiet. Now, not the silence of fear, but the silence of order. Human ships moved through space on regular schedules. Human stations broadcast navigation data and weather reports. Human administrators managed resources and resolved disputes. It was peaceful. It was efficient. It was exactly what humans had planned for 50 years. Kate Morrison retired to a small house on Earth where she could see the memorial to the victims of the first alien attack. Every day, she read the names of the dead and remembered why the Great Fleet had been built. The aliens had taught humanity that strength was the only language civilizations understood. Humanity had become fluent in that language. The galaxy belonged to humans now, and it would belong to humans forever.